Florence Pugh slams paparazzi for Will Poulter romance rumors, says photos cropped out her friends. I know that sounds like a silly headline.
Oh, no.
But it's this is an important thing to note that these are culturally important moments. If you can understand that they will do this, if they will do this with the trivial stuff, they will absolutely do it with the important stuff.
Yep.
So it says, Florence Pugh is pushing back against rumors that started circulating that she was getting more than a little friendly with Will Poulter during a European vacation. She and Will Poulter, I believe, were in Midsummer together. I hated that movie. Somebody else here really loved that movie, and I didn't like that movie. I remember almost nothing about it, but I remember.
I don't think I could get paid to watch that movie.
Yeah,
really interesting.
Weren't a fan of that one.
I never,
you didn't see it.
I never saw it.
Okay.
It seems extremely stupid and artsy fartsy.
It is that. It is absolutely that. It says, in particular, the Black Widow star took issue with the photos that appeared to back up her claims of a burgeoning romance between her and, 2019's Midsummer co-star, because the pictures misrepresented what was happening.
Yep.
Yes, that is the world we live in today, where imagine in a world where 90% of your existence is spent looking at screens. I'm literally in a room talking to people right now, and everyone's looking at screens, and thinking that rich, powerful people wouldn't abuse the power of basically objectively changing your reality by editing everything you see. It's actually kind of insane to think that they wouldn't
Of course,
abuse
why would
that
they
power.
not? Yeah.
The other day, we talked about the Jason Momoa and Amber Heard chemistry thing, and I posted a picture of them where they look very much unhappy with one another because it gets across the photo of the message. So even there is slight editorializing that it's a photo of those two. You could absolutely use that, but the intent, the context behind that is that it shows what the headline is, which is that they had no chemistry on the set whatsoever.
I do the exact same thing when I make my thumbnails because I want to convey, for example, Joe Biden did something crazy or he's worried about something.
Exactly.
And this is something as like an avid consumer of the news, I really want everyone to know.
You can't get them to stop doing it, but be aware that they are.
Exactly. You should know that this is happening. It's not a matter of simply lying about what they're reporting. It's a matter of framing it in such a way that you may not even know that there is an ulterior view.
Yep. So it says, okay, this is Florence Pugh on her Instagram. She says, okay, man, this is getting a little silly now. No, Will Poulter and I are not dating. She started her message posting to her Instagram stories. And then she gets down and she says, we went out to the beach with our friends who are all always about half a meter away from us in every picture. She spells meter TRE. That's very British. It's very British. But have been cleverly cut out, framed out so that it looks otherwise. You can literally see my best friend in the corner of so many shots, and Archie's arms are at the sides. I understand that the nature of this job is that sometimes you get your privacy completely bulldozed by paparazzi, but to fabricate this stuff actually does more damage than good. Yes, that is absolutely true, Florence.
That's correct.
Thanks for saying we look sexy. Doesn't mean we're doing the sexy. So she has a fairly good sense of humor about it.
Good
but
for her.
She's so first.
He was cropped to look like his face was on her chest.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't see that version
that's
of
some
it.
fancy
That's
footwork.
crazy.
But most of them are just, she points out like her friends are in the corner of the frame and they very cleverly like crop sideways so you see less of it. And it's also just posting, it's which ones you choose to post. In the other one I have here, like you see, let's see it load here. Like they're just posting the ones where they're just, she is putting sunscreen on him. So it's like I'm sure the guys, like the photographer's like, gold. I know what story I'm going to tell.
Right.
There's the one where it looks like he's got his face in her chest. And that's absolutely what it looks like. But they're spinning a narrative.
Oh, for
and
sure.
it's crazy because like I think she's in a relationship
With Zach Braff.
And that's what I'm saying. Like now
From
you're just
Scrubs.
you're gonna ruin a relationship just because like you want to take a picture.
That's
you know what I'm
correct, yeah.
saying?
Mhm.
I don't know if I would have a harder time wanting to ruin somebody's like personal life or ruin the U.S. or ruin culture at large. I think both would provide a mountain of like moral dilemmas for me. But
You have a conscience,
But
though,
the
so.
idea is that when you start treating news or pop culture, news, all these things like a business, the business-minded people will have their way of, it's a slow news day.
Brett, didn't you do that the other day where you chose a thumbnail cleverly?
We chose the thumbnail of those two, but it confirmed what I'm saying. I'm saying you have to be careful of this stuff when it is heavily done to
There's a limit where it's not a lie. Like,
yes.
It's just, it's still your creation. Like, you are telling a story.
Yeah.
And
Right.
presenting it.
Right.
The one we did was
Compared to like cropping someone to be like
that's
standing
not right.
somewhere
Yeah.
where they're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
standing. Like,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a different level.
And so like in the context of like a relationship, I don't know if would you have a harder time doing it if you were affecting something more innocuous, like the idea of culture at large, or would you have a more of a moral dilemma doing so, talking about an actual person, like two actual people in a physical relationship?
I would never want to interfere in anyone's relationship for positive
Yeah.
or negative. Like,
Right.
and I wanted to say the fact that we're telling you that we do this
Yeah.
is crucial because it can be done in a completely transparent way.
Yeah.
You could just be like, I want to convey that Joe Biden's worried about this, so I'm going to find a picture of him looking worried.
Exactly. So it's not the same thing as like literally, because the implication of the article is that she's in a relationship with this guy who she's clearly not
that's
in a
just
She
relationship.
a
added
lie.
another slide on her Instagram story where she said, on another very important note, there's no need to drag people through this, regardless of your opinion on who I should or shouldn't be with. At the end of the day, if you're complimenting someone by trolling another person, you're just bullying. There's
Yeah.
literally no need to be horrible online. Think about what you write. Think about who it affects.
She's entirely correct, and I hope this is a red pill for her.
My guess is it won't be. I think
I can
no.
hope, but
I
no.
think it's more. I think for a lot of them that they think of it in like, yeah, sure they do it on trivial things, but they wouldn't dare do this
They
on
would
very
never.
important things. Like I don't think that a lot of them think it through. Like how far like the context of what you do for your job doesn't change just because you're covering more serious topics, right?
You know, like me and Lydia make like segments and clips, and like we're constantly like talking about, you know, titles and framing, and you know, I myself take great pride in making somewhat snarky titles,
Yeah.
but ultimately
I have so much fun with that.
it's
great.
truly the greatest thing I've ever done. But ultimately, I really take I don't want, you know, I don't want to be a propagandist.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
like I don't want to be misleading. Like I
Is
want,
the headline still representative of what is in the content at large?
Exactly.
you know, that's my objective. You know, it pokes fun, but you know, you're gonna get the at least like 90% of the actual thing that happened.
Yeah. So I don't think that most of them she's so scared of stink bugs now.
It
It's
just
hilarious.
keeps startling me, and you guys
Uh,
are really lucky I haven't sworn yet.
Yes. It will happen, I am sure.
Why
But
are they
it's like,
bothering you more than everyone else?
I don't know.
you get used to
Jumpy.
it. When you work up here every day, you get used to it.
Yeah.
Is this one of those things where you do you think that there is a certain level where it's less dangerous to do it when it's something like this than it is if it's a more important topic like politics or mainstream news?
I feel like this is just a manifestation of a trend that occurs in every form of news. And it's something that everyone should be paying attention to, whether your name is Florence or just you watching this right now. It's a very serious thing that happens.
It's funny because I've been watching, like, I watch a lot of old TV shows, and what I find is a through line when people discuss the media in the context of TV shows. It's like, oh, they get everything. Like, it's always been poked fun at that the media gets everything wrong.
Right.
It just seems like in the last few years, everyone thinks now, well, everyone but my media gets
Right.
everything
Right.
wrong,
Right.
which you should be critical of everything you watch, everything you read, everything you take in, which is a problem with the world we live in. When we've turned news and information into business, it becomes about punchline rather than actually providing you with the information you need to be informed.
I would agree with Tim when he accredits that to the intersectional nature of getting that algorithmic click flow.
Yeah.
Because when you combine certain keywords, certain inflammatory topics, you can get it's nonlinear. It's an exponential increase in the clicks that you will get from
Yeah.
that.
Can you
So-
explain that?
Yeah. So if you combine, so I will use, just because I live in this world, I'll use some political terms, but you combine stuff like police shootings, you combine minorities, you combine sexual, proclivities, and you get not just twice as many or 3 times as many clicks. You get like 20 times, 40
Exponentially, yeah.
times. Yeah.
And people get addicted to that because
Right.
of how
well, that's how they earn
fast
money
it grows.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is very much a dopamine release to get that many clicks. You're
Yep.
like, oh, I'm really making a difference. People are really listening to me.
Yep.
And
I
that-
just feel like reality is so like no one even considers presenting reality in the media at this point, so I don't feel
Right.
like it's wrong
But
because there's not even the pretense that what you're reading is
But do people know
representative
that?
of reality.
So the idea, yeah, and then is the question that is our job to change them or to maybe it's impossible to change the machine. The machine is large and unwieldy and immune to change so long as money is the number one goal. But what we can do is inform the people
Exactly.
that that's the way it works.
Right.
You can't change the system, but you can change how people view the system,
But
and maybe
people-
that's what we should be.
People want fake. That they
Do they
want.
really? You
They
think they
want like yeah. They want a fake story.
They want validation.
They
from
want
the
to be.
story.
They want their views to be confirmed.
Yeah, yeah.
They,
Right,
they
right.
want their bias to
Even
be
in something
confirmed.
so trivial as relationship rumors.
That's a
between
good- I don't
couple of
know if-
actors.
Especially for women. If your audience is largely women.
It's more drama. People want
Exactly.
If the
People
women
love
are like,
drama.
I don't like Florence Pugh, I'm not a fan of her acting. Like, of course she would be a
Look, of
harlot
course she would
and,
be like
and
that,
s-
yeah.
and cheat on her. Yeah. So like
Yeah.
even there is a large amount of narrative being spun and emotions being twisted for the sake of profit and clicks.
Well, you're right that this is the big machine, and we're probably not going to change the machine, but this is bottom up cultural change that you're talking about here.
Yep.
I talk about this in reference to, oh man, I'm just talking about all these hot topics today, in reference to abortion. I don't think that you can change the way they're performed until you change why people get them and
Yeah.
what people think of them.
So that's unfortunately people want easy solutions to these things.
Oh, there are none.
I do find it fascinating to have this discussion in the context of something as what we would think of as trivial.
Oh,
But
yeah.
to the people involved in it, it's not trivial.
Yeah.
I'm sure she still had to. I would hope that if at a certain level of fame, Zach Braff was Scrub. He was from Scrubs.
Yeah.
He's made his money. He's been in the spotlight for a period of time. He would know. You would hope that he would be aware of how these things work, and that he would be immune, at least somewhat immune to like reading something like that and knowing that something bad is going on. But then even then you might second guess yourself like, well, maybe they use that as cover to cheat on me by
Right.
like, oh, it's just the media. And then they gaslight you and say like, oh, well, you're just being crazy. Everyone knows that the media would lie about something like this. And then she gives them the big wink like,
Here's how I divide the culture and like what seems to be happening. It's people who search for truth despite of being convenient, and people who respect lies for, their elaborateness.
yeah.
It's like, wow, this is a really elaborate lie, and it kind of sounds true, so I'm just gonna stick to it until it is.
Yep.
And like, I mean, this is an example of that. The writers just being like, well, this isn't actually us being lazy writers. This is a subversion. That's
There's that word again.
There it is.
Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.